everybody, and welcome to today's video. Today is all about different ways that I save money. Now, I have a list this long of things that I need to do, but it's just little items, so it's not going to take me very long. I recently went through my pantry and just organized everything. But I have these bins, and I want to organize behind this curtain a little more and get rid of the bulky big buckets. Years ago, I was really interested in storing food in buckets. That was the thing. Everybody was doing it. And part of the prepping world, everybody was saying, store it in buckets. I'm tired of the buckets. The buckets are bulky, they're big, they're not easy to access, and then the lids are on so tight, it's just awful. So I'm getting rid of the buckets, one by one. But I have things in Mylar bags, and what I'm going to do is show you one of the ways that I save money, and that is buying in bulk. Now, buying in bulk really saved me a lot of money through the years. So I have these 3 bins. I'm going to show you a little bit what I bought. Now, this is a year old. But the difference between keeping it in its packaging and putting it in Mylar bags is a 2 to 3 year difference. So if you're going to use your food up within 6 months to a year, you can keep it in its packaging. If you want food long term, Mylar bags are the way to go. But they're all thrown into this bucket and they're not sorted. I don't know what's all in these buckets. The buckets change because I change up the food that's in them, and I don't know what's in them, to be honest with you. So we're gonna have these 3 bins, and we're gonna go ahead and we're going to sort them. Even if I only get rid of 1 bucket in here, it's gonna make a huge difference. Another thing I do to save a lot of money is I buy rice. It's self-explanatory. I mean, you hear everybody talking about it, but rice and beans are a big staple, and they have a lot of protein, and I like to can them, and I like to store them. But what else? Barley. Barley is a great grain that you can use for all kinds of things, and it has a good protein as well. So I buy that in bulk. That's how I save my money. All right. I'm going to go ahead and put all these beans and sort this 1 bucket out, get rid of it, and then we'll go on to the next thing that I did this week to save money. I needed a new toilet scrubber, and the cheapest one they had was this. This is brand new, and they didn't have the bottom piece to it because they wanted $7 for the bottom piece, but the top piece here was only $2. So I thought to myself, okay, I can save $5 by making my own base for the toilet scrubber. So let me show you how I'm going to do this. I went in my stash of things and I found this wallpaper, and I got this about 5 years ago. I paid $1/4 for it. We're just going to go ahead and decorate this can, and now we have a decorated can that will be used to keep our scrubber in, and it saved me all that money. So let's go ahead and put this together. It took me less than 5 minutes, and it saved me $5. So that was $1 a minute. All right, let me go ahead and show you what else I'm doing that saves me money. If it's glass, I don't throw it away. I reuse store-bought glass jars. So this had spaghetti in it. It was store-bought. That means the jar came from the grocery store. I put a pretty little label on it, and then I buy all of my items for baking in bulk. So we're going to go ahead and transfer some salt into my salt shaker. So saving your glass jars, you can use them for canning. I pressure can with my glass jars that are store-bought if I can tell they're thick. I do all of these things, and it really does make a huge difference in saving your money. You're using salt and pepper shakers. Don't buy the salt already in a salt shaker. It costs you 3 times the amount that if you would just buy it in bulk and use your own shakers. Another thing I do is I don't throw food away. And if a loved one has food they don't like, they give it to me. And I find all kinds of ways to reuse food. So I was giving all these Swedish fish. So what I like to do is, instead of just eating them, I will cut them up and add them to a cupcake. So what I like to do is this. This was given to me. This is a lot. I like to have it out so when I have guests and they can each grab a handful of them, or I use them in cookies and in cakes. So you can put a couple of these with some icing and you can make some really nice cupcakes. Don't throw anything away. Now this was given to me by a loved one and they didn't want it, so I decided I'll take it home and I'll use it. Remember, glass jars are your friend because glass jars keeps your food well protected. It keeps it from rodents being able to get to it, also keeps it free from moisture and mildew, and it keeps your food so much fresher too. When you get to the grocery store and you find a good sale, stock up. Stocking up saves you tons of money. Always have backups of the food that you use on a daily basis. Some of you may know who Starry Hilder is. She used to have a homestead, and she used to have a homesteading channel. She still has a channel, but she doesn't do much homesteading anymore. But she always said, 1 is none and 2 is 1. In other words, have a backup plan. Make your containers only 3/4 full, not totally full. That way you can shake them whenever you use them. That'll keep your foods from being hard in the jars. Give it a good shake, and it's good to go. All right, so here's another thing that I'm doing to save money. Think outside the box. Don't use things only for their own purposes. In other words, if you have something and it says you use it for this, think outside the box and think, how else can I use it? So let me show you. Case in point. I had some of this fencing. Well, it's not very long and I wasn't sure what I was going to use it for until I realized that I can use this as a garden trellis. And the garden trellises on Amazon are $65. I'm not spending $65, but I can go ahead and I can use this as a garden trellis. So I have 2 of them. And then what I'm going to do is zip tie them into a letter A. So we're going to zip tie them like this. And it's going to work perfect. Well, let me show you. So we're going to zip tie them like this. And these are going to be trellises for my cucumbers. So that is how I save money. By not always using things to the exact way that they're meant to be used for. Now we're going to go down to the garden. I'm going to set up these trellises. Another way to save a lot of money is buy yourself a little frost cloth. All of the herbs in here lasted all winter long, are absolutely gorgeous. And it'll also keep your plants and they'll help them come up every single year. Win-win. Frost cover plants. Frost covers make a huge difference in saving money in the garden. A huge way to save money is hang up your clothing. Now, I know not everyone is allowed to have a clothesline, but you can have these little clotheslines. I'm pretty sure that these you can have even if you're in a housing unit. These are great because they do save you lots of money, and that's how you save money. I would love if you would share in the comments what you do to save money. Hey, don't forget, I have a lot of videos if you love frugal cooking. Take a look at all of my Cheat Meal Mondays. Hey, and maybe check out some of these other videos. Bye, guys.